Hello, good evening. This is Bryan Gill calling in for my final screencast for PMA 2. Give you a quick shot here of my database. As you can tell, I'm getting data able to be pushed in there finally. It seems like this final week everything finally came together. I do have a sorting order here. I'm not really entirely sure how to resolve it yet, but I'm sure Uncle Google will be able to tell me. It seems that whenever I enter a new set of test results, the last one I entered ended up here at the top, and then I tried doing the previous date, and it ended up down here at the bottom. So I did 5-1 the first time. It gave me ID 26, put it up here at the top. I did 430, and it put it down here at the bottom. So I have no idea what's going on with that, but I will learn. That's the great thing about having a brain. So anyway, this is my data. This is my database table. This is the database. And anyway, just a quick look. And I'll show you some code here before we actually get into it. This is my JavaScript, and got it pared down quite a bit. We got my modal down here, we got my date picker, and this is the slideshow for the background. I guess I should probably label that, shouldn't I? And I will get to that here in just a little bit. And then this is the piece that the Ajax code that fetches the information from the right there. That's the Ajax that fetches it from the database. And this is for my photo gallery. This is the code for my input to my database. You can see where it will connect to SQL. Connects as the localhost server, Aquaman server name, password. If a connection fails, die, could not connect, log the SQL error. Otherwise, select the MySQL database, which is PMA2_DB with the same connection information. And then from here, it will actually go in and read all of the variables from the HTML form, add them into the PHP variables, and then proceed with the query. And queries the data, insert into database tests with all of the values that it picks up from here. Also on that, since it was just redirecting to a insertion successful, I added in a little piece here to redirect it back to the home page. Since this was pretty much only going to be for me, I really wasn't concerned about having it redirect to a insertion successful page and having that all look pretty and all that. I was more focused on the actual functionality of how do I get this thing to push into the database, and how do I get it to read from the database. And that's what I learned, so very happy about that. Continues on, else if the insertion fails, it will give that and as just a blank page. So my CSS, pretty standard CSS. I did take a couple of things out because, as I stated in my previous screencast, I wanted to get rid of the headers. The font that I had picked from the Google Web Fonts just kind of came out blocky, choppy, wasn't really very smooth and all that. So I really decided to just get rid of it and went with what we have here. My index page, standard, went through, cleaned up the code. It's a lot more organized. Still have, I think, a fair amount of div tags, but because of the jQuery stuff that I have running in here, which you'll see here in just a couple minutes, that it really helps keep this stuff organized. I know Mr. Bloom had said in one of his reviews of my code that I had a lot of ID tags and classes and stuff like that, and a lot of the stuff that I found, like the data filters and the filters and the data lightbox and the classes and the all of this stuff, it just unfortunately doesn't work any other way. But I did try to go through and streamline the code as much as possible and still keep it at the same time readable, which is one of the reasons why I left all the charts here. Yeah, I could probably collapse it and make it look a little bit prettier, but I'm not as concerned with the structure of the code as opposed to the actual functionality. Especially with the speed of internet these days, it's going to load fairly quick. So down here, I changed the the placeholder, the video that I had inserted there, which was an iframe. You can't really see that when I highlight it, but that I took that video out and I did put the HTML5 video piece in here, and it does come up, play, works very nice. Then again, got some the footer piece down here and little extra stuff down here. Finalizing the scripts, and that's it. So I did want to do one more thing here real quick, and that should do it. And now we have the actual web page. So as I stated in a preview, probably two or maybe all three of my previous screencasts, I decided that I wanted to rip out the Google font and replace it with a more stylized logo. And again, since this is just for me, it's my little ocean, my aquarium. So go down here to the gallery. Again, you can see that I replaced the actual images or the text with or font with different font, and actually these are actually images. So felt it had a little bit better look and feel to it. I was able to apply some different overlays on the font as well through Photoshop. So it's a little bit more stylized and a little bit prettier to look at than just the plain white text. I'll probably end up doing the same type of thing with these as well, because they just look a little thin. Not that they're hard to read, but they're not easy to read. So again, one more thing that I have learned, that I'll probably end up double checking fonts, doing some user acceptance testing type of stuff of, hey, can you go take a look at this, tell me what you see wrong with it or what you don't like. Probably should have had my wife look at it and see what she thought. Anyway, we get in here to the photo gallery. I did get the sorting feature worked out, so I come in here and right now we're seeing all the pictures that I have. If you want to see just the fish, you click on fish and it shows you here's a fish here, one there, one there, one there, and one there. You want to see the inverts, you got the shrimp, you got the little shrimp antlers here, another shrimp shot there. Excuse me. And then we've got corals. You can see all the different shots, images with corals. That's actually an anemone, so not technically a coral. And then these will be the full tank shots. The other piece with this is you can click on them and it does give you full size, and you have the ability to navigate back and forth between them. This does only navigate, or actually navigates the entire series instead of just the ones that you have selected. So I don't know if that's something that could potentially be worked out. I can look into it. But again, it's just a neat little piece that I really enjoyed. The water chemistry, moving on here, I got the data. I actually had to drop the data tables, or actually export them first, reformat them in Excel, reformat them, save it off as a text file, reformat it again in my IDE, and then finally insert it back into the SQL piece, and it was kind of a nightmare. I'll go ahead and show you that little SQL command here, or the SQL script, because I thought that was pretty interesting. And some reason I accidentally saved it here. But this is the actual command to dump the entire database table and all of the data. That's the data right there. So that's what I had to actually copy out, edit it, or import it into Excel, edit it, do the sorting a little bit better, and then actually go back in and edit in the commas and spaces and take out tabs and stuff like that, and then reformat it again in Notepad, and then finally pasted it back into here. Boom. Put it back in here and re-imported it back in. So this does give us a couple of different interesting features. It does tell us the values on those days, and some of these other ones you'll actually see that they do have values. And like that. But the ones that, as they get closer together, we'll take the... Let's find a good one here. There's actually the ability to zoom on this by click, drag, and then it zooms in, and it'll actually show you the values at a little bit closer viewing point, which will be handy because I plan on having my aquarium for a number of years, and something like this will be able to store all the data, read all the data, and end up I can zoom in on any given section and see what was going on those days. I do have the ability to also change these charts. I don't really like the jagged back and forth one. I'm thinking about doing like a spline one that's a little bit more curvy and fluid looking. I think it'll fit the water chemistry or the aquarium look and feel of the site. Here's my button for adding test results. So I click on that, and I've got my jQuery UI date picker in here, and we can click on tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and add in a couple of dates, or a couple of fake values here. And add results, and what happens is it actually refreshes back to the top of the screen, does a full refresh of the page, and now you can see that that one actually added properly. So yeah, apparently there's a ghost in my machine. There's the 450 I just added for tomorrow. Here's the 1350 I just added. So that's all in there. Here's the video. And as you can see, that's in there and playing. And this will be replaced with a shot of, or a live stream that I'll have my Windows streaming media services on one of my Windows 2012 servers up and running, and it'll basically pull the information and format it properly for better web viewing, a little bit better bandwidth utilization, and push it out to any client that connects. Basically, it'll just be a replacement of this, maybe a little bit bigger shot. And I have a piece of code stuck right there. That's lovely. So anyway, some of the things that I've learned that when you're dealing with databases and you know nothing about them, it usually takes a lot longer to figure things out. So now I know that it's something that I can do. I'm glad I spent the time looking into it. and figuring it out. It's very rewarding to be able to have this specifically that I put together, for myself to use this. And I'm, I'll be adding more values into it tonight. The gallery piece here, this was pretty tricky, and it kind of took over the CSS that I had for my buttons, and on the image, some of the formatting of the images and the spacing. And I decided to keep the spacing here. It helped spread them out a little bit more. Still not that much, and I probably could do 4, maybe 6 wide, since this, it took out the responsive layout that I had for the gallery as well. So it's just those little things. I would like to have I would like to have had a little bit more time to put in a menu down here at the bottom that would have, when you scroll up, it would stick to the top. I just, with all of the time that the database stuff took me, I just completely ran out of time. It was a pain. It was quite the nightmare. But anyway, this is my site, and these are the things that I've learned. I definitely feel a lot more confident in my abilities now, knowing that I can figure this out, and I'm looking forward to do more. I do want to try getting into a little bit of developing and designing templates, specifically to be used with different CMS tools like Joomla or Drupal or even WordPress, even though I still don't think WordPress should be used for websites. I mean, it's a blogging engine, come on. Anyway, really enjoyed the class. I learned a lot. The self-study type of pace with a little bit of direction. Very, very interesting. I felt very productive. Really kept me on track, and the weekly updates were very beneficial for displaying progress and the things that I was having troubles with, and the feedback was amazing. Having video feedback from Mr. Bloom was awesome with each one of these. And so at this point I've got 7 classes left, and hopefully I'll have him in another class, maybe a PMA 3. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Enjoyed seeing all of your work and all of your progress, and look forward to seeing you again in other classes. Thanks a lot.